Do you use the internet? I'm going to guess yes because you're watching this on YouTube right now. Even if you don't access the internet daily, you're still affected by it in ways you couldn't even imagine. According to this picture from MrBromwell.com, the internet can be illustrated. The internet is an enormous series of interconnected servers. Say this computer on the left wants to connect to a website represented by the green rectangle on the right. The computer connects directly to its ISP or Internet Service Provider. These ISPs are commonly known as Comcast, CenturyLink, Verizon, etc. These companies make money by selling internet access to their customers. The ISP then connects it all the way to its desired destination through hundreds of pathways from server to server. Currently though, the internet is under attack, specifically net neutrality. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, net neutrality is, quote, the idea, principle, or requirement that internet service providers should or must treat all internet data as the same, regardless of its kind, source, or destination. This means accessing one website will take just as long as another website. It also prevents ISPs like Comcast from slowing speeds to one specific website. For example, if net neutrality was not in place, Microsoft could pay Comcast, and Comcast would slow speeds to Google so that users would use an alternative such as Bing. This makes Microsoft money because they are receiving increased traffic, and it also makes Comcast money because they receive the payment from Microsoft. While the controversy over net neutrality was sparking in the US, the UK made high-speed internet a legal right. The argument over net neutrality stems from this question. Should the United States government require ISPs to enforce net neutrality standards? I personally believe yes, because internet access is not only a right for American citizens, it is nearly a necessity for American citizens so that they can communicate, and this should not be limited by the government. The FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, is a government agency that regulates American communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable. There are 5 positions on the FCC, one being the chairman and the other 4 being commissioners. According to Wikipedia, the chairman currently is Ajit Pai. After a series of other jobs, Pai ended up serving as Associate General Counsel for Verizon in 2001, and in 2012, he was confirmed unanimously by the Senate as a commissioner. Pai was then designated chairman of the FCC by President Trump in January 2017. This is significant because while he was a commissioner in 2014 in a net neutrality debate, Pai stated that, quote, a dispute this fundamental is not for us, 5 unelected individuals to decide. Instead, it should be resolved by the people's elected representatives, those who choose the direction of the government and those whom the American people can hold accountable for that choice. In 2017, however, Pai led the charge against net neutrality, recently voting to repeal it in a 3-2 vote that occurred on December 17, 2017. I personally don't believe that the free internet should be taken away from over 300 million Americans. Another reason that I believe net neutrality should be required is because it's what the American people want. According to motherboard.vice.com, the FCC cited 0 of the 22 million consumer comments in its 218-page net neutrality report. Keep in mind that none of the officials that decided on this repeal were elected by the common people. The FCC has supporters though. The FCC is supported by dead people, specifically their social media accounts. Inquisitor.com reports that the FCC has, quote, reportedly been using dead people's social media accounts to spread propaganda and shill for people. This is both unethical and insulting. Government agencies shouldn't be defacing dead like this. It's shameful. Imagine your husband, your wife, your child, your mother or father dying only to be resurrected the next day to be used for government propaganda with which they possibly didn't even agree with. Things considered, Pai and the FCC should not be allowed to repeal net neutrality. Their hypocrisy and disregard of the American people is flat out disgusting. If the government of the United States is truly a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, then the government should require ISPs to enforce net neutrality. Thank you.